Hey everyone, Austin back again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Genesis. Now I actually wasn't planning on doing this as is the case with many of my Let's Plays, but there was actually a thread going on AtariAge.com, or the Atari Age forums, in their Classic Gaming General section, talking about Streets of Rage 2. There was pretty much a thread dedicated to it right now that's active, and you know, everyone's just raving about the game, about how great it is and how great it was back when it came out. And, you know, I concur with all of those sentiments. I played this game a lot back when it was relatively new. I had a couple friends that owned this game, and so I played the crap out of it, even though I didn't have a Sega Genesis at the time. And, you know, now that I do have a Sega Genesis, 20 years later, no, it's, I think it's probably one of the best games on the system, to be honest with you, in terms of not just the gameplay and the graphics and the sounds, but how well the game holds up, especially compared to other beat-em-ups from the same time period. And Streets of Rage 2 is just a phenomenal game for the time. If you haven't played it, I definitely recommend checking it out. You can get it on, obviously, the Sega Genesis, but it's also available on a bunch of compilations from Sega. Like, I think it's even on the Sega Genesis Ultimate, Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection or something like that on the PS3 and 360. I think it's also on Steam. It's also on the Smash Pack for the Dreamcast. It might even be on the Sega Genesis Collection for the PlayStation 2 and the PSP. It's got its own standalone release on Xbox Live Arcade. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I have it from back when it was available. So, I mean, there's so many different ways you can play this game, or you can just do straight emulation if that's your cup of tea. So, yeah, so many ways you could play this game. It looks like the options are normal. Let's go ahead and start the game. Now, I want to preface this with a disclaimer, and this disclaimer is I am really rusty at this game. So I make no guarantees, as usual, as far as being able to complete this game. I don't want to, you know, toss out any guarantees there. So, yeah, we'll see how far I can get. I'll go ahead and use my continues, and I think you get 2 or 3 continues throughout the course of the game. So, you know, we'll go ahead and see how far I can get. Axel's my personal favorite character. I actually never did play as too many of the other characters. I played as Blaze once in a while, and Skate's kind of cool because he's a little bit faster than the other guys. But Max I never ever played as, to be honest. But yeah, Axel's always been the main guy I played as. I like his special moves, and that's one of the unique things about Streets of Rage 2 is that it has actual combination special moves. Like, you got your punches and your jumps and your jump kicks, which are activated just like pretty much any other beat 'em up of the time period, like Final Fight, TMNT, things like that. Jump and then kick. But you can also do certain things like in Final Fight, like press down and attack while you're in the air, and you'll do a little bit of a knee attack. But what I was going to mention is the combination attacks. Like if you press forward attack, he'll do this rising uppercut, and it deals a couple hits on the enemy, and it does some good damage. If you hold attack in for a few seconds and let it go, he'll do this double kick like that. And then if you press attack and jump together, he'll do a backhand, just like that. Some really cool stuff in the game. It gives the game a lot of variety. You've also got A, which is your special attack. Just like special attacks in Final Fight, though, it actually takes away life. So you want to use those to a bare minimum. Really only in desperation scenarios, like if you're surrounded by a ton of guys. But you don't want to go around just smacking guys with your special attack like that, because as you can see, my life is getting drained as a result every time it connects. So fortunately, the life only drains when it connects, not when you just use it. So you can use it to your heart's content. It's just when it connects, a nice chunk of life is taken away from you, so don't use that. If you press forward in the special attack, you have an alternate special attack, and it looks like that one actually takes away health no matter what. But it does do a lot of damage if you connect with it. So, yeah, Streets of Rage has a nice array of moves per character. It's pretty nice. It's definitely above the norm for the time period. It was, I guess, it had a really large move set now that I think about it. I think TMNT Turtles in Time was really the only other beat 'em up that has such a varied move set between the characters. Not between just the characters, but I mean in general. Like in TMNT Turtles in Time, I mean, you jumped in the air, there was like 3 different jump kicks you could do, which was pretty awesome. Same with the Hyperstone Heist on the Sega Genesis, which was basically a variation on Turtles in Time, with some of the same levels and some new levels added, and some of the old levels chopped out. It's kind of like a variation. That's actually a game I'd like to Let's Play in the future for sure. TMNT, the Hyperstone Heist on the Genesis, because I played that one a lot back in the day. That was probably the beat 'em up I played the most on the Sega Genesis, aside from Streets of Rage 2. So definitely watch out for a Let's Play on that. Sometime. I don't know when I'll get to it, but we'll see. I need to start keeping a list of like Let's Plays I want to do, because I always mention in these videos like, ooh, I'd love to Let's Play that game, and I totally forget about it, and I never do. Streets of Rage 2 was actually one of those. I've wanted to do a Let's Play on this for a long time because I'm familiar with the game, but I just, it takes like a forum thread on Atari Age to remind me, oh hey, that's right, I wanted to Let's Play that. I should probably do that. So just like other beat 'em ups, and especially Final Fight, you pick up different weapons and so forth, knives, pipes. You get a sort of like a sword later on in the game. Forgot what other weapons there are, but I guess we'll come across them. I think there's like a sort of ninja star kind of thing you can get. Kind of, sort of, not really. What's cool is you could throw any weapon you get, like you could throw the pipe, just like that. Which is really cool. Another example of the varied moveset in the game. Just a nice amount of variety in the game. Is he dead? Nope. This guy, you kind of want to try to attack him when he doesn't have a knife in his hands. Because when he does, he lunges forward at you. Or he throws it at you just like that. And it can be very difficult to get in on him and do some hand-to-hand attack. So I guess it's kind of best to jump kick him if he's got the weapon in his hand. Now, in the very early portions of the game, I shouldn't really have too much of a problem progressing, simply for the fact that it's not too hard. I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of enemies, but you can just keep using your special attacks, get your combos going, and it's not too tricky. It's really not until 2 or 3 stages into the game where, or maybe not even then, maybe a little bit farther into the game, when you start getting to like the baseball stadium, the fat guys and enemies like that, and the bosses become much more difficult and tricky, almost to a traditional beat 'em up level, whereas bosses in beat 'em ups have by nature usually been very, very cheap, very difficult to actually hit and attack, and you know, if you do get an attack, they usually have some form of invincibility frames that really aren't indicated on the screen, and so they can like pick you up and throw you out of combos you're doing and things like that, and it can get really frustrating. And Streets of Rage 2 has a little bit of that, especially in the second half of the game. So that's where the game's really going to pick up in difficulty for me in particular. Final Fight is a major culprit of that. I mean, even just the second level boss, when you fight Sodom, basically the samurai guy in the wrestling ring or the boxing ring, I still to this day have not figured out a pattern for him, and I get hit no matter what whenever I fight him, and many times I die when I fight him. And you know, I'm the kind of person that likes to try to see how far I can get without continuing. And Final Fight is a game I've never been able to get that far without having to continue. Maybe up to level 3 or level 4. The Factory, which is level 4, I believe, in that game. That's about as far as I've ever been able to get in Final Fight without continuing. Streets of Rage, Streets of Rage 2 anyway, I've almost been able to beat the game without continuing, but not quite. I've never one credit cleared the game. But I have definitely done it plenty of times, you know, with the stock amount of continues you get. But again, I'm kind of rusty, so I don't know if that's going to actually happen today. I've said it before in other Let's Plays where I'm like, I'm not going to beat this game, it's too hard. Then I like one life it while I'm doing a Let's Play. It's like something about doing Let's Plays that sometimes it even makes me play better than I normally would by myself. It's kind of interesting how it works out, but you know, as I said in the beginning, I make no guarantees, so that's kind of the fun in doing these Let's Plays, though, is that we don't know what's going to happen, and you guys kind of get to experience that with me as I'm playing. These aren't, my Let's Plays, I guess, aren't your traditional Let's Plays, in that, you know, for one, I do my whole videos in one go. I don't record them in 10-minute increments and use a save state on an emulator or something and come back to it later. And they're not usually walkthroughs like other Let's Plays try to be, and usually are. So I guess you could say I have sort of unconventional Let's Plays. But for some of you, that might make them a little more interesting because, you know, again, I make no guarantees at actually completing the game. And that is a section right there where I should have used that, my special attack. Again, it takes away a chunk of my life, but, you know, it kind of saved me from getting hit a second time. Oops! Right as I said that. And that's actually kind of cool, because that I sort of noticed that, because I wouldn't have actually noticed that playing by myself, typically. When I play games by myself, I have a very particular sort of style I play with, at least in games that I'm very used to, like Streets of Rage 2, you know, and like Ninja Gaiden or Castlevania. I go through the game the exact same way pretty much every time I play it, and, you know, the same can be said with games like Streets of Rage 2. Yeah, definitely want to get that meat before we have to go in. We're gonna hop into the back of this truck, then it's gonna take off. And you definitely want to pick up whatever food you can if you see it before the screen changes, because once that last enemy gets down, you're pretty much stuck. You can't move and pick up your food, unfortunately. So what I like to do is do like a 1-2-3 hit combo with Axel, and then do his forward B attack, which is his rising uppercut. And it deals a nice little chunk of damage. So you're gonna see me doing that a lot through this video. And I mean, if you're close to an enemy, you can just punch him once and then do your attack. And in some cases, even better just to start off with the attack, just because it cuts through multiple enemies at once. It's great. I know what I used to do a lot is just rely on his kick, because it has a good reach compared to his punch, and it does 2 quick hits. It does a lot of damage, just like that. And in the very first stage of the game, you can actually kill pretty much every enemy in one hit with it, as long as you connect properly. So, see, just like these guys, bam, down in one hit. Good stuff. There's the throw. Never found the throws to be too useful in this game, unfortunately. It's not like Final Fight, where the throws are like mandatory in that game in terms of survival. And they also do way more damage in Final Fight. So this guy could be sort of a pain. He dives up and then... Well, not dives up. He flies up and then dives down. And I find that... Ooh, that's a lot of life. Let me grab this meat. I find that just jump kicking him and sort of taking my time that way works well enough, I guess. Or not. I think one thing I used to do is just like jump straight up, literally. Just like that. Yeah. So again, some of this is gonna have to sort of like come back to me as I play. Because again, it's been a while since I've actually played. Ooh, man, that knocked him right out of that. That was nice. Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, Axel's special attacks are really nice. It's been a while since I played the other characters, so I don't remember what their specials are like. But if they're as useful as Axel's, then that's good. They probably are, and I just don't remember. So we're at stage 3. I want to say there's like 8 stages in the game. I could be wrong. Again, it's been a while since I've run through this game. Geez, it must have been like... the last time I actually remember beating it is when it came out on Xbox Live Arcade, and that was probably like 2007 or 2008. Probably more like 2007-ish. So yeah, it's definitely been a while since I've completed the game. I have played it on and off throughout the years since then, especially the first few stages. What happens is, a lot of these old games in particular, I won't really beat them a lot over the years, but what I will do is I'll still play them a lot over the years, and I'll play usually a couple stages, and then I'll lose my first life, or I'll get a game over or something, and then I'll quit. Or in the case of like right now where I have a flash cart, it's really easy to just jump between games, and so yeah, I'll literally, like, if I die once, I'll switch games, which doesn't seem like that much fun, but it's just kind of habit for me, I guess. But again, I am the kind of person that wants to kind of see how far he can get through just one life or no continues or something like that, and especially like in one life. And if I, like, you know, lose my first life, I'm like, well, no point in playing anymore. Oh, that was cool. I lined up the end hit of that combo just right, and I knocked that knife guy out of his run. See, just a nice little attention to detail in the game, some of the things you can do. Streets of Rage 2 isn't quite as button mashy as, say, Final Fight, whereas Final Fight, you're literally just mashing the same button over and over. But to be fair, Final Fight is a much faster paced game. That game is so crazy. You literally have to just keep mashing the button, and what's cool about Final Fight is you can actually throw enemies mid-combo, and that is a key function in that game. If you can't manage that, then you're not going to survive very long. So what's going to happen in Final Fight is you're going to be surrounded by enemies, and you're just going to be mashing the punch button as fast as you can. You can actually attack faster in that game depending on how fast you punch, or how fast you mash the punch button. But if you hold up while you're doing your combos in Final Fight, you'll automatically throw the characters in the opposite direction. And that'll knock over any other enemies on the other side of you, so it'll give you a little bit of breathing room, so to say. And that is really necessary in that game. So here's the sword. The sword's great in this game. It does a lot of damage, which is expected, and it feels really good when you connect with it. It's not like... I keep making comparisons to Final Fight, because really that's like the other premier, like, traditional sort of beat 'em up to me. I mean, yeah, there's stuff like Double Dragon, which was a very, very early beat 'em up in comparison. Really, pretty much almost the pioneer to the genre. But Final Fight, to me, is like the epitome of, like, the street brawling beat 'em up. That and Streets of Rage 2. So, I mean, yeah, you had Double Dragon, which was like more of a street brawler. You know, I can compare, like, sort of Turtles in Time with them as well, but that's a little bit different. You know, based on a cartoon series, you go through different environments and so forth. It's not just, you know, you walking through streets and theme parks and things like that, you know. It's not you versus a bunch of thugs. It's you versus the Foot Clan. But in terms of you walking down streets and things like that and beating the crap out of, you know, thugs, Final Fight and Streets of Rage 2 is really where it's at. So that's why I make so many comparisons to Final Fight. But what I was going to say is, in regards to weapons like the sword, it feels so much more satisfying to use them in Streets of Rage, because you see there's a lot more frames of animation. The sword, like, swipes through, it makes a cool sound, slices through the multiple enemies. Whereas in Final Fight, it's literally, there's like 2 frames of animation. It's like your sword's up, like you're about to swing in, and then your sword is down on the ground. And with Streets of Rage, you can see, bam, there's at least 3 or 4 frames of animation there. And so there's a nice swiping motion that you don't get in Final Fight. So as a result, the weapons are a lot more satisfying to use in this game. This is always a cool stage. There's like a mini boss at the end. It can be a little difficult if you're not careful. Because one thing you'll notice is when you play this game, the bosses they can deal a ton of damage, even just the mini bosses. So Here's the mini boss right here. Trying to play it safe. I don't want to get hit. Or if I do get hit, I just want to make sure it's not too bad and I can just grab that apple. Oops. Is that like an extra life? I did grab an extra life. Ha! It was a hidden extra life. Very cool. I didn't even know that existed. I like it when developers add those like sort of details to their beat-em-ups. King of Dragons by Capcom, which is one of my favorite beat-em-ups of all time. I love that game. Although it's really freaking hard. At least towards the end it is. They have some power-ups like that as well. It'll be hidden behind a pillar or something like that. Whereas the extra life was like behind this lower plane down at the bottom that sort of covers your feet. Oh yeah, this guy can deal some real damage. He's... Yeah. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad, actually. And just like any other beat 'em up, you kind of want to keep moving. You don't want to just stand still. Oops, that's not what I wanted to use. Haha, sucker. Alright, don't want to get... Whoa, that was close. I got lucky in that. I just BAM! Right to the face. And what I actually wanted to do was I was trying to do his double forward. Or tap attack. That sounds so retarded. Double tap forward and then attack to do his rising uppercut. So we're doing pretty well so far. I haven't died yet, so that's definitely a good sign. Well, let's just see if I can keep that up, guys. I think this is the baseball field level. I want to say it is. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it is. You know, it's actually kind of funny, the time I'm doing this Let's Play. Today is actually, it's Thursday, 2014, Thursday, January 2nd, 2014, when I'm actually recording this. And today is actually the very first day of MagFest 2014. And the reason I mention that is I actually went to MagFest last year, and the guy that made the music to this game, Yuzo Koshiro, he actually had a sort of like premiere DJ set at MagFest. It was one of like sort of the closing acts of the event, and so we got to check him out, and it was great because, well, it was sort of great. His DJing kind of sucks, to be honest. He didn't have a sound monitor, a reference sound monitor or anything like that, so he was sort of train wrecking every song or every track, but everyone was still loving it. And for the first half of the set, he literally just played his stuff from like Shinobi, Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage 2, and games like that, which was really cool. And it's not every day you get to hear a DJ spin Sega Genesis music. I mean, just think about that for a second. A DJ is playing Sega Genesis music to a large crowd of people. Just think about that for a second. I mean, it was cool. It was cool. So, and today is actually the first day of MagFest of 2014, and it runs all through this weekend, and actually by the time this video is uploaded, it might be over. Or not. The video might be uploaded later tonight. We'll see. Depends on how much time I have, and yeah. But, yeah, Yuzo Koshiro, that guy, he's made tons of great music over the years. I mean, he did Super Adventure Island on the Super Nintendo, which I love that soundtrack. He's done a lot of great stuff over the years. Revenge of Shinobi, that's some music that a lot of Genesis players will know, like, instantly recognizable to them. So yeah. We're just kind of like, you know, jamming along, doing our own thing, grooving. Axel's like, yeah, listen to this music. Oh yeah. Look at my pecs. Back in the 90s when we tucked our shirts in and wore them real tight. Which I don't remember ever seeing too many people that actually did that. It's funny how like some of these video game characters looked in relation to how actually people did look in the 90s. Whoa, see, that's a desperation moment right there. Use that special attack to get out of it. And it was okay because I had an apple waiting for me. Grab this money. Money's good because they give you points. And as you can see, you actually get extra lives from points. And look at that, I'm up to 9 lives so far. Whoa, there's the fat guy. Gotta be careful with him, because I believe he, like, blows flames out of his mouth. Pretty sure that's this one. So they can definitely be pretty dangerous. And then I think they start running at you later on. Kind of like the running fat guys in Final Fight. So many similarities. I mean, it's hard not to draw comparisons, guys. I'm sorry if my drawing comparisons gets annoying, but like I said, it's hard not to draw the comparisons. Okay, note to self, don't jump at him when he's in the air, because it doesn't work. His attack will always override yours, so... Alright, this part's always kind of cool, or it's always been kind of cool, in my opinion. Yeah, the special attacks are so good in this game. Especially the command attacks, I mean, where they don't take away life from you. You can just use them as many times as you want. And as you can see, like, enemies that even just fall into this attack will still get picked up by it. So it's sort of like getting free hits. Ooh, of course they got a free hit on me. Alright, this guy can be a pain. I think what happens is he sort of dashes at you or something like that. I think one thing I used to do is just do this attack. Yeah, and he breaks out of it. Ugh. God damn beat 'em up bosses. It's probably the kind of boss you just want to jump kick over and over. He's gonna eventually start like dashing at me. Once we get his life down. No, not even when we get his life down. Okay, looks like this is working. So we'll just gotta grind away at him. Some beat 'em up bosses back in the day, that's kind of what you had to do. Especially Ninja Turtles sometimes. On the NES in particular. Do. Oh, come on! Come on, man, keep it up. Let's keep doing this. Guarantee my success. You notice the background's not cheering when I get a hit in. I think it's actually just programmed to just go off every now and then, the cheers in the background. Or maybe they go off when he hits. Oh, what was that? Gotcha. Didn't get you. Ah, I keep jumping too early. And sometimes I just miss. Ah! Yeah, you can't jump that close to him, otherwise he has the tendency to... Ow. Well, that didn't actually do any damage to me. If you jump too close to him, he'll do his job, and it always overrides your attack, it seems. Shoot, just like that. Ooh. Not always. Alright. Oh, what? That sucks. I lost 2 lives on him. Ah. Stage 5. Alright, I remember this level. We fight more fat guys, and I think the wrestler guy might even be back. Oh wait, no, this is where we fight the boxer guy. Oh, God, I hate the boxer guy. Like I said, this is kind of like where the bosses start getting a little cheap in terms of what they do for attacks, you know, what overrides your attacks, things like that. So it can get very difficult very quickly. Another fat guy. Just time it to where you try to hit him as he gets up. Ah, I keep missing it. Ah. Just like that. Oh, the kickboxer guys. Okay. They're not too bad. They're just kind of like your normal enemies. They're powerful. They're fast. Oh, look. The first boss makes a return. Got it. Thought that meat was going to go out of the screen. The meats in this game are really good. I think they either give you your entire life back or something like 75 or 80%. Come on, guys, run into it. Don't make me work. Yeah, this is where a lot of the old enemies start making reappearances, or the old bosses, I should say. You got biker guys, but no bikes. But they are up there throwing grenades though, so. Oh, I tried using my special attack, but I didn't have enough life left to use it. So it left me open. Whereas if I pressed my punch button, I would have attacked him, but see, now you can see the game's getting a little bit crazier. Jeez. Now we're at the boxer guy. Freaking boxer guy. Got an extra life though. The fat guy is called Balloon. That's awesome. Oh man. And I got hit. I don't remember the pattern of this guy at all, to be honest. But I'll take as many free sword hits as I can. Just like that. I didn't get hit once at him. That was lucky. If I didn't have the sword, that would have been a lot more difficult, I think. These ninja guys can get pretty annoying pretty fast. Especially when there's like multiples of them on screen. They weren't too bad earlier on in the game, they were a little bit slower, but now they're sort of picking up in speed. Or at least so it seems. I think the boss of this stage is one of the flying guys in conjunction with the sort of Balrog looking guy with the big claws. Or is it two of the flying guys? I don't remember. It's a combination, either two of the flying guys or the mixture of the flying guy and the Balrog looking thing. I say Balrog because he looks like Balrog from Street Fighter 2. Or the Street Fighter series in general, really. He's really like a staple character in the series. Yeah, I remember this. Whoa, yeah, I definitely want to end it with a special, because he grabbed me out of my combo. I was trying to do the fourth hit, but... More money. And it looks like every time, or occasionally throughout the stage, apparently, your time is reset back to 99, which is kind of cool. Not that I really pay attention too much to the time meter at the top, but that is something you have to worry about if you play really, really slow anyway. Ow. Ow, jeez, that was like 2 enemies hitting me at once. Ah, I can't use my special anymore. I'm out. Oh no. There we go. That's what I wanted to do the whole time. It's tough trying to do your special attacks when you're in really tight situations. Phew. Give me some meat. Give me some meat. I need to eat. Yeah, full health. Yeah, that's what I thought. Flying guy and the Balrog looking thing, or whatever his name is. Souther, apparently. Okay. Interesting name, I think. And Stealth up there, apparently that's his name. He doesn't look too stealthy to me. It looks kind of obvious, actually. Ow. Oops, it's not what I wanted to do. Ah, it's my next life. Huh, weird. I killed them both at the same time. Even though I didn't even touch the other guy. That's interesting. Alright, stage 6. We're at stage 7 now. Isn't this some sort of like factory? Yeah. Yeah, there's gotta be 8 stages in the game. Or maybe there's more. And I don't remember. Which could very well be the possibility. Ow. He slapped me E-Honda style. What's up with fat guys in video games only being able to jump you with their bellies or slap you with their hands? I don't get it. Oh, come on. Yeah, I think the enemies are definitely getting a little bit more challenging too. They're pretty much overriding my punches, or I'm not being able to punch them fast enough. So, thank you, I will take this pipe. That's one of the things I never liked, is when you go to throw an enemy, and sometimes it happens by accident just because it's such a mess sometimes. You're surrounded by so many enemies. When you go to throw an enemy, the weapon will drop, not by your choice, really. And depending on how many times it hits the ground, I think, it'll disappear after a certain amount. And so Yeah, it's not like you got hit and so you're losing your weapon. It's you threw an enemy, so you just lost your weapon. So that kind of sucks. I really wanted that pipe. As you can see, the weapons could definitely make things easier. Okay, Strider. Whoa, that's close. Oh, come on. Still got hit by her. Dalaula? It's a weird name. I'm gonna save this meat. I don't think it disappears. I think it just kind of chills there. Like, hey, eat me. Look at me, it's like a Thanksgiving meal. I'll refill your health. You kind of want to save it for when you really need it. Like you're about to lose a life or something. Like when the flying guys come. Oh, what the hell, I'll take it right now. Nice. God, damn ninjas. I did it again. I threw him and I lost the sword. God. It's gotta be like if the weapon drops on the ground 3 times, the 3rd time it disappears or something like that. Yeah, when there's a bunch of these fast guys at you, or surrounding you, it's tough. It's definitely tough. Almost makes you like forced to use your special attack. That makes you lose life. Okay, it looks like in these later stages the throws can actually be pretty useful because you can throw the enemies into each other. Gah! Stupid bikers. Ow. It's funny as he throws his knife at me and then I throw it right back at him. Well, that works. Oh, jeez. I completely forgot about this boss. Well, I like how you can pick them up as they stand back up, which is nice. Makes them a little bit easier than some of the other bosses. Alright, so we should be towards the end of the game now. We might even very well be on the last stage. Yeah, we're on the last stage now. Okay. Well, this is cool. I didn't honestly think I'd even get this far, because again, it's been a while since I really last beat the game. It's funny how they're still using grunts as like defense from this guy's like main tower. I'm gonna try to keep this weapon. Seemed to work well against this guy last time. Yeah. This guy does not like big long objects. And I'm trying to time it just right, because I don't want him... He has a tendency to, like, dash at you and punch really fast. Ah, just like that. Oh, I lost my pipe. Ah. God, I gotta watch out for those guys. They always jump kick when they come down, so it can be a free hit on you, which is not good. Oh, that didn't work. He blocked it, and then he threw me. Son of a... Ah, shoot. Look at this. Well, this looks like it works out pretty well. Wish I figured that out the first time I fought him. Oh, there's no wall though. He would go outside the screen, and so I had no way of cornering him like this. Okay. That's the perk to having walls. Just watching the timer tick down as I do this. Took a lot of hits. Alright, now we're at the end. That was like the first time I used the backhand in this whole playthrough. Another enemy where you just jump kick them over and over. Alright, let's see if I can do the final boss in 5 lives. Mr. X. It's a funny name. Oh, he does... that's right. I should have remembered that. That's kind of hard to avoid, I'd assume. Yeah, I'm laughing too, buddy. I can't get a hit in on him. What? Totally jump kicked his face. Oh, come on, man. Got it. Got him. Well, that's it, guys. It looks like I beat the game. I was not planning on doing that. Yeah. So there you have it, Streets of Rage 2 in its entirety. It's actually been quite some time since I've beaten the game. Again, since it came out on Xbox Live Arcade, I think, was probably the last time I did it. 2006 or 2007 or so. What's great about the Xbox Live Arcade version is it uses a very specific emulator, and they allow save states, so you can save your specific spot. So, you know, if you need to stop playing, you can at least save your location and then start it back up later. So anyway, guys, I want to say thanks for watching. I'm glad you stuck around for this. I actually was not planning on completing the game. I mean, as you guys know, I sort of just go into some of these Let's Plays blind and rusty, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But it looks like it worked out in the case of Streets of Rage 2. I did it without continuing. Unfortunately, I did use a lot of lives, but fortunately, to my benefit, the game gives you a lot of lives. I mean, there was a point where I had 9 lives, and by the end of the game, I still had 4 or 5 lives left over. So even if I didn't get those extra lives, I might have still been able to do the game on the stock 5 lives. I don't know. So, but anyway, again, thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I'll go ahead and leave you guys with the rest of this ending, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So until then, take care.